Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aussie Formula Racing here for round 2 of Season 8 here at Bahrain for Tier 1. Just loading into our qualifying 1 session. I'm Gus Rules, and with me tonight, as always this season, is Mr. Spicer. How you doing?
Good yourself, Gus, and hello everyone tuning in.
Pretty good, thank you. All right, just loading into our quali lobby. So this is full qualifying format this season for Tier 1. As we saw last week at Baku, it led to some pretty exciting one-shot qualities for some pretty high-performing drivers who made a few mistakes and had to leave it to the very last minute just to get through to the next round of qualifying. So hopefully we'll see a bit of that again tonight. I'm tipping we're going to have a very tight field here at Bahrain. Glad to see some of our drivers coming out onto the track. Be interesting as well what's going to happen in qualifying 2 because can run the alternate strategy here at Bahrain with starting on the medium tyres. Now expecting a one-stop race, soft onto mediums if you're good with your time management. Otherwise, we may see a 2-stop or the hards used. But going off our Tier 3 race, looked like most drivers were opting for the soft to medium strategy.
I have heard some teams may be saving their spare set of mediums just in case of a late safety car.
Interesting. So you will notice that we do have some drivers selecting the intermediate tyres. So unfortunately, it's a bug in the game where you don't actually get enough slick tyres to get through full qualifying. So some of the drivers will do their bank laps on intermediates, and then they will do a flying lap at the end of qualifying 1 to get their times on the board. I'm just going to follow Eckham around in the Aston Martin on his outlap. So he's using the medium tyres for this first run. So as you said, some drivers opting to save that second set of mediums for the race. And others are going to use those to get through qualifying 1.
How much slower are the intermediates, you reckon?
I would say they'll be a couple of seconds slower. I reckon we'll see the drivers on the softs going to be about half a second to a second clear of the medium runners, and then I reckon you're probably a couple of seconds back we'll see the intermediates. But quite peculiar. You don't often see this you don't really see this in real life at all unless they're tipping some heavy rain coming during a lap. But anyway, Codemasters is what it is. So coming aboard with Eckham. Aston Martin, yeah, go for it, Spice.
In this situation, by the looks of it, because there's not more than 15 people per se on there, or more than 5 people on the inters, looks like they may be forced to actually run a set of slicks on this run.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting a good spread at the moment, though. I imagine there'll be some people running maybe used softs as well for their second run.
Yep.
Or maybe in qualifying 2, they might run a used set of softs to set their banker laps. There's always a possibility as well, but a little unravel as we go. Eckham looking pretty tidy through the second sector. A little bit squirrely on the throttle coming out of the hairpin. Oh, and he nearly loses it coming out of the double left-hander. Big moment, and he's backed out. You can see he's dropped his throttle. And jumping on board with... That's Mick out on the intermediate tyres on the 2 DRS straight. And he's backing out, letting through Simdogger on the medium tyres from Aston Martin. So we got Combat in the chat just asking, wouldn't using inters on a dry track be dangerous? So you don't really get the really bad grip that you get with using a so when you use slicks on a wet track, you obviously can't drive the car at all, whereas intermediates on a dry track, you can drive it, it's just they're slow, so it's not as dangerous. And then unfortunately, yeah, the game just doesn't quite let us use the correct realistic tires. So
Looks like it's a good 11 seconds slower.
there we go, yeah, 1 minute 41. Oh, Mikau did back out of that lap, so he did have some traffic behind him, so I don't think that's a representative time on the inters. But yeah, medium time there from Martanis, 127.9. That is very quick at the moment. We've got a few others coming through. We're going to jump on board with Trin of the Haas. Coming around the final corner now to set his first time of the session. And there we go. 127.757. Immediately beat by CJM on the softs. 1 second faster. 126.792. We go. Pretty decent time there from Hero as well. 127.1 on the medium tyre. There we go. Potsy about to cross the line on the inters. P8. 138.5. There we go. That's a representative time, I think. Still 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds slower than Eckham on the medium, so it's got him on the board, but he'll want to be improving next time around.
Might be the race for the 15th spot in between the intermediate drivers.
Yeah, definitely possible. We've got T-Mac invalidated at the moment, so I'm going to jump on board with Geordie in the Red Bull, who's just about to start his flying lap now, and he's on the soft tyre, so expect him to be in the 127s at least. He's got a nice little tow here as well from the sister team. That's Mick out. Little lock up going to turn one. He takes that in 4th gear.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky corner to try and pull out of that. So you want to try and balance car rotation as well as grip.
Absolutely, another tricky one. Turn 4. Goes purple in sector 1. Great start to the lap by Geordie. And that's another tricky one there. You can just hear the wheel spin as he comes out of the corner, short shifting just to try and get a little bit of traction. This awkward double left-hander.
Nice and clean exit out of that.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job here, trying to control that wheel spin. And using all of the track available. Flicks it in just before the 50-meter board. 4th gear, short shifting up 5th and 6th. Again, using as much track as possible. Getting as close to that curb as possible. It is the curb of death. If you touch that, you will insta-spin, especially during the race. Saw a number of retirements there during the Tier 3 race. Hopefully a Tier 1 driver is able to keep it together. And it comes through the final corner. Again, it's a tricky one. It's clipping that curb. You don't want to take too much of it. It will unsettle the car, but this looks very planted here from the Red Bull. And Geordie comes across the line and sets our quickest time so far with 126.251. Great time. Red Bull 1-2 at the moment in Q1. We've got 10.5 minutes to go. Still got a number of drivers yet to set a time. I think T-Mac is invalidated again. Alpine driver just not following our plan. And going to be putting himself under a lot of pressure to perform at the back end of this qualifying session. So we've got Aston Martin is currently on an out lap, I believe. It's going to be Simdogger on his in lap. Does it look like he's pushing?
3 laps on the mediums too.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of practice. Might just be getting his eye in to do a one-shot lap at the end of this Q1 session. We'll see how he goes. Now behind him, I believe, that Pondon it is. So we'll jump on board with the Williams driver here. He's currently in the danger zone. Has yet to set a time, but it's, bottom 6 drivers have not set a time. Bottom 7 drivers, sorry. We'll be scrambling to set a decent time, and then we might start to see a few representative times for those who did bankers on the wet tyres. Here we go, Pondon starting his lap for Williams. Pondon, they're taking it in 3rd. Looked like he ran a little bit deep, couldn't quite rotate the car, using a lot of curb there through turn 2 on that first DRS straight. Keeps it in 4th, short shifts up to 5th, nice and controlled as he comes across, and he goes purple in the first sector. Takes a little bit too much curb there. You can see he had to kind of correct the cars. Eckham, whoa, that was very close. The Aston Martin completely parked just on the exit curb there. Pondon doing well to avoid that. That could have been a nasty accident. Pondon nice and tidy through the double apex left-hander onto the 2nd DRS straight. Opens that rear flap. Taking as much of the entry curb as he can. Nice and tidy. He completes the 2nd sector.
Got a Sandeezy facing the wrong way.
Yes, coming out of that double apex corner there on the straight. That's the yellow flags you can see. Pondo going purple in the second sector. Looks like this could be good for our fastest time of the session. Not quite maximising the speed out of the final corner, but he does come across the line third fastest with a 126.704.
He should be safe, for hopefully for next session.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Still got 7 minutes 45. Currently the cutoff time is 144.457 from Baitmate, who just jumped up to 5th with 127.3. The times are starting to plummet now as a lot of the guys who didn't get their bankers in come across the line. Geordie with a 126.221 goes fast on 3 lap odd soft tyres as well. So that's a great effort there from the Red Bull driver. Now we're going to jump on board with Crush and the Ferrari. Graduate from Tier 3 last season. Opening up the DRS flap. What's this time going to be through Sector 2? A few comments about just how tight this grid is. No one really knowing who's going to make it through to Q2. And that's the thing.
Still got P14, Mikau, Crush, and combined YouTuber.
Well, Crush just had
a lap on intermediates.
Yeah, Crush just had a really bad moment coming out of that right-hander. The end of Sector 2, start of Sector 3. It's going to hurt his time. It was 9 seconds up, so he might be doing a 1 minute 30 here, but we'll go 127.4, so he does improve. But only for P8 at the moment. I'm going to jump on board with Andercat from Mercedes, who's currently in Sector 2. He's yet to set a time. His teammate Potsy currently sitting in P4 with a 126.485. You'd think he'd be safe at that time, but our cutoff is still a 1 minute 40.3, so we're still yet to see the quickest times. A lot of the guys did their early laps. Still need to complete, so he's got Andercat just coming through Sector 2, not setting any purple sectors, but this is looking like a pretty tidy lap from the Mercedes driver. Our Tier 2 champion last season. Sandeezy goes fastest with the 126.204 for Alfa Romeo. Very quick time up there. As Anacat comes across the line, this is looking pretty good. Set to 126.634, so it's good enough for 7th, just 2 tenths behind his teammate, so really good stuff from him. And Big Al for Alpine was also starting a lap. He's halfway through it. He's currently sitting 20th, his teammate 19th. Neither of the Alpines have set a lap. There's only 5 minutes left in the session as well, so there's just enough time for 2 laps, but you really don't want to be putting that pressure on yourself.
I wonder how many tyres everyone's used.
That's it. I wonder if... What have we got here?
Yeah.
Can't show that information at the moment. We will get that in Race Director once the session ends. With Big Al just completing Sector 2. Caught a little bit of traffic there. The Ferrari there, I believe that was combined YouTuber, maybe Crush. Shouldn't have affected him too much as he comes through the final corner now. But up on that curve a little bit. It's going to hurt his exit speed, but comes across the line. It looks pretty good, and it is very good. 126.152 from Big Al. The Alpine goes fastest in Q1. Should be safe there.
Mikau starting his first lap on softs. Hopefully get him off 20th.
With the Alpha Tauri drivers down in 19th there with a 138.6. He's set on the intermediate tyres as his banker. Thank for the follows, Addy and Noah. But the last season's runner-up in Tier 1. See how representative his times are going to be here. He's on the soft tyre, so I mentioned before, saving the mediums, and he goes 3.3 seconds faster and purple in the first sector. As Hero sets the fastest time, 126.1. We're starting to see everyone starting to show the best they can do. Only T-Mac hasn't set a time yet. Now, cutoff time is currently 127.319. That is the time the drivers have to beat in order to make it through to qualifying 2. Looking like a pretty good lap here from Mikau. He's just about to come across the timing point for the end of Sector 2. And he's up by 9.6 seconds and purple in the second sector as well. So will he get into the 125s here on this lap?
Using the whole correct, that's for sure.
Very, very good here for the AlphaTauri. Looks pretty good coming out of the final corner. Not too much sliding. activates DRS, comes across the finish line, and he does a 125.845 into the 125s. And it's a stonking lap there from Mikau, and that will definitely get him through to qualifying 2.
Baitmate, Crush, Simdogger, Combined, and T-Mac all in the dropping zone.
We've got just under 3 minutes, so enough time for all of our drivers to get out for one more lap. And let's see, what's our cutoff time now? So Baitmate is start of the danger zone there. Needs to get a 127.160 in order to get into Q2. Just having a look, the driver at risk is FIBA, P15. The winner of last week's race at Baku is the last driver who will make it into Q2. So this is going to be very, very interesting. As Hero has retired from the session, he thinks his time is good enough to get through, 126.1. And yeah, about a second clear of the danger zone, so should be okay. Jump on board with T-Mac, who has yet to set a time. Currently in Sector 2, 2 minutes to go. There's Big Al as well, thinks that he's done enough. Get through to Q2. Or is T-Mac running very high up on the curb, the exit of the double apex left-hander, and that's going to slow him down quite a bit. See what his split time looks like. He comes across the end of Sector 2. Captain of Gold also retiring there, Send Easy 2, all thinking that they've done enough. Purple in the second sector for T-Mac. Comes down, final straight before the final corner. Clips that apex nicely. Good control. Coming out of the corner, opens DRS. Mikau as well, thinks he's done enough. T-Mac across the line, goes P10 with a 126.533. A great time there. Now Simdogger has invalidated down in P19. He may be able to get another lap if he's got enough fuel. And Baitmate currently in P17. He's just starting a lap. We're going to try and find if we've got a driver who's almost finished. Yes, we've got Ekem in P15. He's our man at risk at the moment. Currently on a 126.805. He's only got one corner to go. Misses the apex slightly there, and looks like he was a little bit skatey on traction. And he comes across the line. Goes P6 though, 126.249. That pushes FIBA into the danger zone. Pondon is now the cutoff time with a 126.704. Now we've got a Red Bull coming through. I believe that's going to be Geordie. Going to be setting his final time for Q1.
By the looks of it, at this rate, nobody will have any tyres left for Q3.
Absolutely. I don't know what the state is, but we'll have a look at that. It goes P2 with a 126.082. A great time from Geordie there. We've got the Mercedes now. I think that's Potsy's about to finish his lap. We've got a Haas has crashed at the final corner. So Polo Pepsi has spun at the final corner, so he is not going to be able to set another time. Will that mean he does not see qualifying 2? Now we're going to have a look at the Alpha Tauri of Baitmate. Is about to come across the line. He's 8/10 up on his time. That will put him into P7 with the 126.257. Great work there from Baitmate. We've got the McLaren now. FIBA's going to come across the line. 1 second up on his time. This should get him through. And it goes up to P2 with the 125.976. So we've got the Mercedes of Potsy still in Sector 2, doing an okay time. T-Mac retires and he's done. Endocat cannot improve. It gets a checkered flag down in P16 and he is out. Now we've got CJM's about to come across the line. He's 2/10 up on his time. That should get him through and does. And to P11 with 126.412. We've got the Aston Martin of Simdogger. He's very low on fuel. He's currently 1.1 seconds up on his time. That's not going to be enough unless he can find it in the last couple of corners. Is Simdogger through? He needs a 126.595 and he gets a 126.375. He's into P10 and through. And we've got a couple of Ferraris as well to go. Crush about to come across the line. 6/10 up on his time. That's not going to be enough. And P16, he misses out by 0.04 of a second. And we have our Q2 drivers. So Crush, Apollo Pepsi, Pondon, Andocat, and Combined YouTuber all eliminated from qualifying. T-Mac is safe by 0.04 of a second. Whew. Very, very close qualifying there. A few drivers that I don't really expect to be that far down the order getting very, very close to being eliminated. And like you said, how many tyres have they had to use to guarantee that they make it through to the next round? So we'll have a look at that one once.
It's all well and good starting on intermediates, but it all depends on what everyone else is doing around you as well.
Absolutely. Now we're just waiting for Trin and Geordie to retire from the session. and then we'll be good to go into qualifying 2. Combat Rat asking, is track evolution in each session or over the course of all 3 sessions? So yes, it does improve in each session, so it will carry over. But if we have a look at that, the entire grid is separated by less than a second. Mikau did a 125.845. Combined YouTuber did a 126.7. So there's less than a second separates the entire grid.
Quite impressive, isn't it?
That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. It shows you how fine those margins are to be eliminated. So really, like, hats off to these guys to just perform that well. Here we go. There's your list of drivers at the moment. Now let's have a look at the tyres. What have we got here? So it's like our top 5, Geordie used 2 soft tyres in that stint, but most of our top drivers only using 1. Ekim using a medium and 2 sets of softs. Most of the other drivers just using the 1 set. CJM as well using 2 sets to get through. And you see our bottom drivers using a few more. You kind of expect them less to lose. If they can't get it into Q2, then it doesn't really matter if you use up your extra quality tyres. But yeah, some of these drivers, especially Ekim, if he's got the pace to get into the final qualifying session, he may not have the rubber to set a decent time. So definitely one to watch. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Psycho reckons that a 1 minute 25 will be the safe point for qualifying 2, which is underway now. We've got 15 minutes for the top 15 drivers to set their best times. Now, a reminder, in F1 2021, if you make it into the top 10, the tyre that you set your fastest time in this session will be your starting tyre. So I'll be really interested to see if we get any of our top drivers trying to get through on the medium tyre, because that will be... I'll give you a bit of a strategy alternative to the start of the race. It's most people will be starting on the softs, but we do have CJM opting for the mediums at the moment, so keep an eye on that one, how it unfolds throughout the race. Bunning Snags reckons a 26 flat will be safe for Q3, but I don't know. We saw a full second, and the track evolution will improve those times as well, so who knows how close it's going to be. I'm jumping on board with Simdog, guys. First driver out. Combat Rat. Yeah, good point. 1.2 second delta between soft and the medium, so it's a very high risk if you want to try and get into Q3 with the medium tyre, because with how tight this field is, you could find yourself not quick enough and get you eliminated. So trying to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I think we'll see everyone do probably a 1 stint on a soft tyre, maybe retire after that, depending on if they're comfortable with the time, and then they will use everything they've got, I believe, in the last Q3 session.
Addy in the chat, go on Heroes POV. I would, but he is currently still in the pits, so when he comes out on track, I'll try and get some on board for you. At the moment, with Simdogger from Aston Martin, who's just about to start our first flying lap for qualifying 2. Ali, we want Gus POV, please. Unfortunately, it wouldn't last very long. Certainly didn't on my stream, so we'll move on. As we all know, Bahrain isn't my my greatest track. Pretty tidy first sector from Simdogger. Thank you for the follow, Frey. Or was it Fiery? Sorry, bad eyesight from me. And Jasper as well, thanks for the follow. Tidy lap here from Simdogger, using all of the track available. absolutely committed through this long right-hander. There's a weird blurry kind of artifact there in the stream, if you might notice, but it's a dog out. Powering through it, coming up to the final corner. This looks like a pretty decent lap. And comes across the DRS line and checkered flag. 126.680.
Looks like Geordie's trying to use him as a drag.
And there he goes. Just a little bit of a toe there. We've got Potsy as well across with a 126.921. TJM sets to 128.337 on the medium tyre. That's 1.4 seconds slower than Potsy. I dare say he'll need to come out into another lap. Tanis, though, setting 130.1 on the soft tyre. Must have made a mistake or have his engine mode down for that run, because you'd expect it to be a little bit quicker than that.
Quite an easy thing to do to forget to turn ERS back on.
That's true as well, but could always be playing silly buggers. He might just be using roaded tyres already from session 1 just to save an extra set for Q3 if he thinks he'll make it. Very tidy lap so far from Geordie. Purple in second sector.
So that's what's happening. T-Mac might be having connection issues.
He's currently in P7, yeah, he's still in the pits. We've got 10 minutes to go. Geordie across the line. Quickest with 126.245, so a couple of tenths off the fastest we saw in Q1, but still waiting for them to ramp up a little bit. Now we're going to have both Alfa Romeos reasonably close together, but Batemate, yes, is starting a lap, so we're going to jump on board with, let's go Sand Easy. While we're still waiting for Hero to come around for his lap, but we will get there. So apparently T-Mac has PC issues. His FPS is going from over 100 down to about 4, so hopefully he's able to get it sorted. Sandeezy is going to come across the line, a tier 2 streamer and commentator. Goes fastest to the 126.178. Great time there from the Alfa Romeo driver as his teammate has DNF'd. He's crashed. Jump on board with Hero. Should be able to see off on the left-hand side. We've got an Alfa Romeo in the barriers. There he is. Very treacherous corner here, and unfortunately it's caught Captain of Gold out, and he is out of qualifying 2. He will not progress to the final stage of qualifying and will be starting 15th on the grid, assuming Big Al and Batemate set valid times in this session. But here we go, you asked for it. Here is Hero's first lap in qualifying 2.
Batemate set a time of 126.6 in 4th.
Very nice time there from the AlphaTauri driver.
That should hopefully be enough to get through to Q3.
It looks like CGM set a second time on those medium tyres. I wonder if he's just getting a little bit of extra running. Macau goes fastest to 125.667. Mega lap there from the AlphaTauri driver. Oh, he's had a big moment. He's nearly lost the car. What a save from Hero, but that has absolutely ruined his lap. Oh, he just got a little bit too happy on the throttle there. Didn't have the traction. Got a lot of wheel spin. Nearly put it into the barrier, but showing his skills there, the New Zealand driver.
I think Hero is still doing go-karts over in New Zealand at the moment.
Absolutely. He's a very successful driver here in Tier 1 as well. Picked up a couple of race wins last season. And he comes across and set to 127.062, so he's not the slowest at the moment, but he'll definitely want to improve on that time. Now I'm going to jump on board with Trin from Haas. Be the next one to come across the line. Still got just under 7 minutes left in the session, so every driver will get at least another run before the end.
Must be a lot harder for Tier 1 drivers to have tyre management. Because they're doing 3 sessions before they're ready.
Absolutely. Trin comes across to the 126.2, and we'll see, I think that's Mikau about to come into the pits. We do have Potsy on an outlap, so we'll jump on board with the Mercedes driver as he'll come around, start his lap. Betty Etz in the chat, Mazatrin equals GOAT. Definitely is a great driver here in Tier 1. Unfortunately, had a few rough races last season, didn't quite finish where he would have liked, but hopefully we'll see him flying the flag for Haas this season.
Looks like Potsy had a bit of understeer through turn 1.
Bit is going to come across the timing now. He's previously set at 126.9. He's up by 2/10 at the moment. It's not going to improve his position at the moment. The car looks so unstable there through the fast flying first few corners of Sector 2. Hopefully he's be okay through the rest of Sector 2. Car's looking okay. Definitely going to be a fast time if you can just nail it. Rest of the lap. Nice and tidy through these. Found a few more tens. He's half a second up now. That'll get him up into P5. Needs to find a little bit more though to get into the top 4. Oh, but he's run very wide of the final corner. That's going to hurt his time. Didn't invalidate, but I dare say he's lost a bit of time. 26.1, so he still managed to find a few tens there, but he's got more in the tank. 126.109, so it's P2 at the moment for Potsy.
That should keep him safe, hopefully.
Yeah, we still have a few drivers yet to set a time. We've got Fever about to start a lap now. We've still got Ekim, T-Mac and Big Al in the pits. T-Mac with some computer issues, so he will be trying to resolve those before he comes out and does his one and only time. I don't think it's going to be enough for 2 with 4 minutes remaining in the session. Purple in the first sector for Feber. Good little time there. Just look how much he throws the car over the curbs, using every little bit of track. Takes a very wide line into that left-hander, but it just seems to carry so much more speed through there. Absolutely using every little bit of track and squeezing every little bit of performance out of this car, but it looks absolutely planted for him.
Definitely a very stable car.
Yeah, 100%. His teammate's just in front of him as well. Is he going to give him a cheeky little tow here, or no? He's out of the throttle. He's going to make his teammate go around. No, he does give him a bit of a tow. Comes up to the final corner. I don't think Feber's going to need it though. His lap is on fire. Comes across the line. 125.654. He is 1/100th of a second faster than Mikau. So he goes fastest in the second qualifying session. I think that is the fastest time we've seen so far tonight.
Starting to look like last week's race where first and second were separated by like half a tyre width.
Absolutely. Now, it looks like we're starting to get most of our drivers out on track at the moment. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. Just trying to find who's going to be next one come across the finish line. Geordie looks like he's aborted this lap. Might actually have an issue there. Oh, he is teleporting a little bit. I wonder if he's had to minimize the game to fix something, but...
yes, I can confirm that as well.
Let's see, I think... Who's going to be our first one across the line? We've got Ekim setting purple first sector. I think we've got Hero, I think, is going to be the next one to complete a lap. Thank you very much for the follow. .1 seconds up is Hero. Purple in the second sector. Oh, he runs a little bit wider. He invalidates. Oh, he's got a minute and a half to go, though. He will have time if he's got enough fuel and ERS. He's going to reset. And he's going to go again. Currently, he's in P9. He is so close to being at risk with a number of drivers yet to set time. So he's going to need to set this time. I'm going to have a look and see who's next across. I think we've got CJM. 1 minute to go in the session. He can go again, but I think this will be it for him. Improves by 1.8 seconds, goes up to P7 for 126.496. We've got the Aston Martin of Eckham comes across the line now. P3 with 126.057. And I think that's Fever coming into the pits now. We've got Trin about to come across the line in the Haas. That looked like a pretty scrappy final corner. He's only 5,000 of a second up on his time. He comes across the line. 500s he found, so he's up to P6 with the 126.237. And that was T-Max setting a 126.304. So well done to him to get his computer sorted. We've got Big Al is about to come around the final corner now. And he'll cross the line, setting a 135.694. I hope he's going again. That is way off the pace, and he is in the danger zone. What else have we got about to come across the line? We've got the Alfa Romeo Sandesi. Will be the last one, I think. Simdogger is completing his lap now. He's 3 seconds down, so he may be recharging and going again. I think he is. There we go. He's got the McLaren of Hero, sorry. 1.2 seconds up on his time, so this is a little bit better. Looks like he's on for a 25.8 here. If he's able to just keep it together for the last corner, he will get the checkered flag now, as I think we've got someone off. There we go. Hero is at 25.705, so he should be through. I think we've got CJM as the next one to come across the line. And he improves by a 10th and a half, but stays in P10 with 126.330. He is the man at risk at the moment. But who's that? That's Eckham, who is down by 11 seconds. I think he is done. T-Mac is also done, currently in P9.
Got Batemate up by 3/10. It might just get him out of the...
Here we go. AlphaTauri, 126.690 is his current time. The time to beat is 26.330.
Going to be close.
He's trying to get a tow from T-Mac. And he improves by 5/10. He's P8. That's it. He's gone through. Now Trin is done. He's out of fuel. Now Sandesi is going to be the next one across the line. He's in P9 at the moment, so he is safe. T-Mac into the pits, and he is out. We do have Simtogger. He's 3/10 up on his time. Oh, he needs to find another 10th in this final sector. Is Simtogger going to be through? Needs a 26.237. And he gets a 26.389. He misses out by a 10th and a half. And that is it. So our drivers eliminated are T-Mac, CJM, Simdogger, Artanis, and Captain of Gold. Unfortunate there. All of them missing out by just a couple of tenths. Artanis, unfortunately, retiring a little bit early, and Captain of Gold too. All right, here we go. Look at that. Feber quickest by just 13,000th of a second over Mickout. And a McLaren sandwich there. Just half a tenth separates the three of them at the front. So it's going to be a very, very close Q3. There we
Half
go.
a second for the top 10. That's pretty close.
That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And then as well, a couple of drivers outside just by a tenth. So I think 7/10 all the way down to Simdogger in 13th. So with Artanis not quite setting a representative time. So this is a very, very tight grid. Going to have a look at the tyres. There we go. Sorry. Like a few drivers using the 2. So hopefully they've got enough left to get a decent run in qualifying 3.
Looks like they'll either be using second-hand softs or using their last set of fresh softs.
I think you'd want to save a set as well for the race, just in case there is a late safety car. So I wonder if we'll see them run just a roaded soft tyre just to set a bank of time and then push with your last set of fresh softs. See how we go. So this is it. Q3, everyone will give it absolutely everything in this final 12 minutes of qualifying. We go. The Alpine of Big Al is going to be the first out on track. followed by the Red Bull of Geordie. GFGG in the chat. What do you guys race in the morning, lol? Not sure if you're trolling, but we are an Australian league, so it's actually Sunday night. It's 7:13 p.m. Melbourne time at the moment. Seb, I don't think he was baiting me. That's all good. We all know that you're the master baiter anyway. So we'll continue on with qualifying 3. Got Big Al halfway around the lap. So he should be commencing his first run. Just a moment. We've got a few drivers out on track at the moment, but we've got a number just saving their tyres as we kind of predicted. Alright, here we go. Al planned in action. Let's see how he goes. Nice and controlled into turn 1. Little short shift just to control the wheel spin. And into our first DRS straight. Look how far across he gets, just trying to maximize the amount of track he's using. Flicks it in nicely, 4th gear. Runs a little bit wide there. Looks like the car just not quite responding. Using all of the curbs through sector 2. Doing quite a high gear through the hairpin. Controls that wheel spin nicely into the tricky double left-hander. Little lock up in the front left, but shouldn't have lost too much time there. Again, maximizing how much track he uses in preparation for this next left-hander. Shifts down. 5th gear, runs a little bit wide, short shifts up to 6. Oh, he uses all of the track available, just touching that line inside the curb. Nearly kisses the inside curb there on the right-hand side. Flicks it in nicely. And this looks like a pretty solid lap from the Alpine driver. All the way down into the final corner. Looks it in nicely, just kissing that little curb on the inside of the final corner using all of the track available. This is looking like a pretty solid lap here from Big Al. Comes across the line with a 126.127, so great banker time here for the final qualifying session. I dare say that's probably on a used set of tyres as well, so great effort from him. We're going to see a few drivers starting their laps now, but Geordie is completing his, set to 126.435. We've got the Mercedes of Potsy about to come across the line as well. 8 minutes to go, so everyone should get another run in after this. Goes quickest with 125.987, so he is on provisional pole. Remember, did not get a single pole position last season, and yet still won the Drivers' Championship.
We have a Mikau on purple first sector at the moment.
Right, stuff from Mikau. Just going to jump over to his teammate who's about to complete a lap first. Batemate in the final corner. Like he had a little bit of a moment there in the final corner. Yeah, 126.568. So it's the slowest time so far. And we are going to see, I think that's Fever purple in the second sector as well. But he's got his teammate behind him on an outlap. And Sandeezy and Mikau about to finish their first run in the final stint of qualifying. Here goes Fever.
Mikau's getting a nice toe from Sandy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Fever might give his teammate a helping hand here with a bit of a toe. 125.681. Come across the line soon. Sandeezy is actually invalidated, so Mikau's going to be across the line now, and he goes fast with 125.650. Absolutely mega pace there from the AlphaTauri. Jump on board with Hero, because I think he's going to get a toe from his teammate here. Lovely little bit of teamwork there from the McLaren drivers. This uses so much curb. He goes purple in the first sector. A little bit of understeer, but able to keep it off the curb on the exit. He'd lock up from that front left, but he's able to hook it up nicely. Good responsiveness from the car. As Trin goes P5 for the 126.219. Purple in the second sector as well. Hero on a very good lap here. Here we go, coming up to the final corner now. Moves the car across to the left to use as much road as he possibly can. Oh, he's nearly lost it at the final corner. Good correction, good save there from Hero, but unfortunately that's going to hurt his time. Only a 125.740. I say only, and it's still a mega fast time. But that could have been a 125.5 if he had have just nailed that final corner.
Yeah, that definitely would have been the P1, sure.
It's okay, he's still got another lap to go. Most of our drivers in the pits at the moment, the rest coming in after their first run.
We got Eckham that's run out of fuel. Heading to the pits now.
Send Easy unable to get a lap in, so invalidated his run, and I don't think he had enough fuel to complete a second one, so he'll have to come back into the pits and do a one-shot quali right at the death. And currently our order is Mick Fever, Hero, Potsy, Big Al Trin, Geordie, Eckham, Batemate, and Sandeezy. Now, expect a few of those drivers, I think, have made little mistakes on those runs, so we expect most of these guys to get into the 25s.
It might be a few of them rushing back to get to the pits just to get another set of tyres if they've got a spare set.
Oh, Hero's crashed!
Oh, no.
He's nearly lost his suspension there. He's lost his front wing, that's for sure, but he is so lucky not to have retired there. Oh, Hero. Settle down, mate. You see he's lost the right end plate there, so I'm sure McLaren are not going to be too happy with him there, but he'll be okay. There we go, Geordie commencing his final run for qualifying. So we're going to stay on board with the Red Bull driver through his entire lap. Thank you very much for the follow, GFGG. Oh, this car looks so unstable over the curbs there, the exit of turn 2. Now we're going to get a delta as soon as he crosses the end of sector 1. He's currently up by nearly 2/10. Challenging Trin for P60, but he's aborted. He looked like he got his line all wrong there in the twisty first couple of corners of sector 2. And he just backed out, saving the car, saving the tyres, saving the battery. He's got enough fuel to do another run. There's 3 minutes left on the clock, so he will be able to go again, but that's not the kind of preparation you want. But he does have a time on the board. That is important, so just has to set a clean lap, reset here, get your head back in the game. And you'll be alright. Here he is going 100 k's an hour with his DRS flap open, but weaving, generating a little bit of temperature in those tyres. Ready to go again. Also got Big Al out on his out lap at the moment, so he'll be getting another run in shortly. Thank you very much for the follow, F1 Nathan. GG is racing line off. Some drivers don't run racing line, so we don't require them to have it off. But yeah, we do have quite a few drivers who don't run it.
Geordie ready to go.
Here we go. Jump back on board, and there's a lot of cars coming out of the pits now, so hopefully they are all aware of him on his lap, and he doesn't get impeded. So here we go. Geordie, all or nothing run here, currently in P7.
Looks like he ran a little wide at turn.
Yep, and that's it. He's done. He just lost the rear. I noted on the last lap as well, the car just did not look planted at all when he went over the curb. And
might be using a used set of softs.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I hope not. But That's it, he's done. So we're going to jump on board with Big Al, who's about to start his final run. We've got a minute 25 on the clock, so everyone will get the checkered flag when they cross next time. Tidy
Good run through.
First sector there from Big Al. Looking a lot better than he did on the first lap. We were on board. And comes across. He's a 10th up on his time at the moment. And I'll get him just into the 25s. It's purple in the first sector as well, so great time. He has missed the apex slightly though at the hairpin. Oh, it hasn't hurt his time too much as he comes up to the double left-hander. Big lock up in the front left, but keeps the car nice and stable. He's up on the curb quite a lot. Able to get the traction though. Flicks it in. Yeah, he doesn't drop it down to 4th gear like we see most of the others do. Still able to get the rotation from the car. Oh, he gets so close to that curve of death that just keeps it together. He's up 4/10 now. Purple in the second sector as well. This is going to be good enough for a 25.7 at least. How's his final corner going to go? I think we saw last time he lost a little bit of time off this final corner. He's able to tidy this up. Could we see a 25.5 from Big Al?
Good.
Al plan, is it going to be good? 125.567, a great time there from Big Al. Really, really well executed at the death, and he's on provisional pole. We're going to jump on board with Trin now. It's going to be the next one across the line. He has invalidated, and he is out of qualifying. P6 is the best he's going to do. On board with Hero now, who's on his flyers, currently P4th at 125.740. We'll see how far off he is in a second. Oh, his 500's down in his time, but we do know that he made that big mistake in the final corner on his first run. I think he's going to get into the 25.5s as well. Once he can just keep it clean. He flicks it in nicely, clips the curb. He's much better on the traction this time around. A little bit conservative though. Is he going to be on pole? No, he doesn't improve. The Aston Martin now, Eckham is next across the line. He's 3.5 up, goes P5 with 125.912. We've got Sandeezy next across the line, sets a time of 126.1, and that is it for him. Batemate next across the line. And he goes P4 with the 125.688. We're now going to have Fever come across the line now. He's 2.5 up. He's running very high on the curve there at the final corner. Is that going to hurt his time? 125.425 as we see Geordie come across the line. And I think that is it for qualifying in Tier 1. Mick has just come across the line. 4.76 he does. Oh, two guys into the 125.4s. But that is another pole position for FIBA. 125.425 beats Mikal by 0.05 of a second. Got Big Al there in P3 with the 25.5. Batemate 4th with the 25.6. Hero 25.7. Geordie 25.8. Eckham 25.9. Podsy 25.9. Trin with the 26.2. Unfortunately invalidating his final lap. And I think Sandeezy was in the same boat as well. Has not set a time. Thank you very much for the follow, Cleggsy. We're just waiting for... There we go. Big Al has retired from the session, so we should be good to go. There we go. Less than a second covering our top 10 again. Hey, solid work from those guys. Half a second covering just the top 7. It's absolutely nuts. Impressive. All drivers using 2 different compounds for their runs, so I dare say they've probably kept a fresh set right at the end, which is why we saw those absolutely insane times from FIBA and Mikau in the 25.4s. Really, really good effort from those guys.
Hope we can keep it clean for the race and
absolutely
get across the line.
GFGG, there should be a Discord link in the, I think it's the bio of our Twitch page. So if you just scroll down, you should be able to see it there if you want to jump on board. But bear in mind, if you have to be from Australia or New Zealand to partake in one of our proper races. Unfortunately, we do get quite a bit of ping if you come from anywhere outside those 2 countries. Unfortunately, we're just so remote and don't have the greatest internet particularly in Australia. So
Yeah, it's definitely an
unfortunately,
experience, that's for sure.
yeah, especially with Codemasters as well, you can get quite a bit of desync at times. So just waiting for the drivers to confirm their strategies for the race, get their fuel loads all sorted. So a few more seconds while we wait for that to happen, and we'll be off for the formation lap.
29 laps, is it, Gus?
20, 29? No, less than that. I think it's 27, 26. I should know. I mean, I didn't do all of them in tier 3, so forgot about it pretty quickly.
Yep,
29.
29 laps.
Thank you, Betty
There you
Yates. Clearly a Carlton fan there. Congrats on your win the other night. All right, here we go. 15 seconds. We'll be off for the formation lap, and interesting to see the tyre strategies are. So expecting one stop, soft to medium if you're good with the tyres. Soft to hard is the option as well, but they're safe. We've got a couple of safety cars. We might see the soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium strategies.
I believe it's around lap 8 to lap 12.
That's
For
correct.
soft to medium.
That's correct. So softs expect them, to come in around about the end of lap 8. Where are my tyres? There we go. So everyone on the softs except for CJM, Sim Dogger, and Captain of Gold, who are opting for the medium tyres. Of course, the top 10 all have to start on the softs because that's what they set their quickest time in Q2 with. Yeah, we have seen in the past, though, when you do start on the alternate tyre, you can get caught out when there's an early safety car. So, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the best strategy. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Might not get a safety car, or might work out okay.
We might see some 2 stops here.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, it really does. It's hard to keep control of your tyre temps at this track, particularly the rears. So if you don't have a great setup, you might find a few spinners pitting early to get a fresh set of rubber. The softs do tend to overheat very quickly. And once they do spin out, you generally don't want to hang on to them for much longer. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to, where's my, I think that's it. Position change, yep, so we are, look how spread out the field is. So we've got Hero is holding up most of the grid. We've got Mikau more than the 10 car lengths behind Fever. Big Al and Baitmate fair distance behind them as well. So hopefully they're not having to wait too long on the grid. But Fever's already under AI control, and some of the cars weren't even into Sector 3 yet. So he's going to be stationary for quite a while. Hope he's going to be okay on the run into turn 1. So Spicer, what are your predictions for the race? You got your eyes on anyone in particular who's a bit out of position, or?
Tier 1's so close that you can't really put your finger on it. And everyone's got different strategies. I reckon we've got a good chance of maybe Big Al being up there. Maybe Geordie. He's showing a lot of promise. Definitely Mick Al still be up there. It's just whether a lot strategy goes his way. Definitely Fever and Hero have a higher chance, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Just waiting for the last couple of cars to form up on the grid, and we will be underway shortly.
Looks like we're good to go.
Here we go. Lights are coming on. And we're away. Pretty decent start from Mikkel on the dirty side of the track. You've got Fever coming across to cut him off. He's squeezing him right up onto the curb. He's actually ghosted, but Mikkel having to take right off the road to avoid contact. I hope there's no desync there, but he's had to go right up onto the curb.
Turn 1. Yeah, Sandeezy's way up on the curb. Hopefully he didn't get floor damage. It's a lot harder to get floor damage this season.
Yeah, so we have turned the settings down a little bit. Looks like everyone's pretty well behaved at the moment. Oh, as we see, who is that? That's Sandeezy and Potsy going side by side to come into the hairpin.
Rubbin.
Rubbin's racing. Sorted out before they get to the double left-hander. Oh, a bit of a concertina happening there. And easy having to be careful to avoid T-Mac. Yeah, I think that's Eckham getting past Batemate there. Up into P5. Great start from him. Up 2 positions. Batemate unfortunately down 2. Geordie down 1 as well. And looks down through the field. Crushes up 3 position. Potsy's had an absolute shocking start. Down 6 positions. Going to jump on board with him. Make sure we don't have any wing damage there for the Mercedes. Looks okay. Not the start he would have wanted. Bieber comes across the line to complete the first lap in the lead. Going to jump up to the front. Looks like having a bit of a look at the McLaren driver. Nothing quite doing at the moment. Jump further back, Geordie. Looks like he's having a look on Batemate. Not quite able to get it done, but Batemate runs a little bit deep. And Geordie gets a position up into P6. Batemate now down 3 positions from the start. Look at Apollo Pepsi and Pondon side by side as they come through the double left-hander. Pepsi now up 2 places now, Pondon up 2 as well. CJM is down 5, Captain of Gold down 4 as well, so they've really not had great starts. Once again, AWS telling us the predicted pit stop strategy. Thank you for that.
Looks like we're going to have one long DRS train.
Absolutely.
In
and
this coming lap.
We saw this as well last season, that you really can't afford to make a mistake when the field is this close, because you will drop out of that DRS and you will not be able to catch it back up again. So I'm just going to be very careful. They are absolutely consistent and don't make a single mistake. So we start to see the effects of the DRS train. Every driver picking up a fastest lap as they come through. Great shot on board. Apollo Pepsi's Haas. The run into turn 1. We've got the Williams having a little bit of a look. I think that's how Tanis and Simdog are going side by side. Turn 1. Simdog up. Able to hold on to the position.
I wonder if Big Al's is sitting back and letting the front 2 runners dice with each other so he can just save his tyres.
Had to change the lead. Fever has lost the position to Mikau in that DRS train, but we will see them leapfrog each other for most of the race. Look at Potsy trying to make up some ground.
Eckham's looking pretty quick at the moment. He's made up 2 spots already.
Absolutely, up into P5 now. He's right on the back of Hero, who's made up a position as well. Currently, everyone's still within DRS range of each other. Will be activated at the end of this lap. You are getting very close to the back of Mikau. Wonder if we're going to see him make a little move now that he will have DRS. This lap, there we go. DRS is activated. But he switched it off. Oh, maybe that's just a little bit of desync.
Looks like we got a DRS from P1 to last P20.
Absolutely.
Probably the first time I've seen that, actually. Just goes to show how close this field is.
Absolutely, and hopefully do see a few moves from these guys who are out of position at the moment.
So from the leader to 20th is 9 seconds, so it's not much of a gap at all.
Simdog has made a little mistake. He's dropped out of DRS range, and Potsy's been able to get through, but there's a 1.5 second gap now between him and Sandeezy for the points. And this is what we were talking about a little bit earlier. You can't afford to make any mistakes here, because you will get swallowed up by the cars behind you, and you will break that DRS train, and you will not be able to catch them back up. So Posse's going to be putting the pedal to the metal. He's got to make up some positions from before. This is the Ferrari of Crush going past Simdogger as well. And Aston Martin just looks like he's really struggling with those medium tyres at the moment. The soft runners are all around him. And here we go. Artana's making a move on the Aston Martin as well on the run into turn 1.
He's going to take the Ferrari as well.
Very late on the brakes. Oh, there's contact between Crush and Artanis there. Crush getting pushed up onto the curb. Simdogger now trying to get that place back from the Ferrari, and we see Apollo Pepsi trying to capitalize. He's actually off the track, trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari, but they're 3 wide on the run into turn 3, 4, and we see the Haas there of Apollo Pepsi running very wide again, and now Crush getting the position back, but Simdogger, oh, he's off! Crush is off, and he's out! The Ferrari is out!
We've got Apollo sideways at the next corner.
And we have a full safety car, and you're right, we do have Apollo Pepsi, and Captain of Gold has no front wing either, and that was a massive escalation. We saw that battle starting all the way down the pit straight. It started with Simdogger just really starting to move backwards through the field, but he was able to hold on to that position a little bit. We saw the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo just coming together.
Like Crush tried to do a crisscross move, and Apollo Pepsi was there, and he didn't quite have clearance.
Absolutely, and that was crazy. Now, what do our drivers do now? So we've been running for 4 laps now on these soft tyres. Will they come in at the end of this lap? The safety car is waiting for them at the exit of turn 3. Will we see the soft runners come in and chuck on some mediums?
I think if they throw the mediums on, they'll have to then do a 2-stop still, I believe. I reckon the mediums still won't quite pass.
We'll stick with them for just a moment. Mikal is coming into the pits, and so is Fever, Big Al as well. Let's see, is anyone staying out? Don't think
the whole grid looks like it's going in.
The whole grid is coming in. They're side by side. Sandeezy trying to get a move on T-Mac in the pit entry. We do have the Aston Martin of Simdogger on the mediums going through. Now, I'm not surprised by that at all. We've got a Red Bull CJM also on the mediums staying out. We've got cars everywhere, double stacking all the way through the pit lane. We're seeing crazy action here down pits as everyone trying to get rid of those soft tires, and they may go medium to the end from here, or medium soft if there is a late safety car. We do have a couple of drivers staying out though, Simdogger and CJM, who started on those medium tires. Everyone else on the softs coming into the pits to get some medium rubber. All right, now let's see if we can bring up a replay of what caused this safety car. Bring it up just now. And you can see they were 3 wide on the run into turn 4. We've got the Ferrari, the Haas, and the Aston Martin. It looked like the Ferrari tried to back out there, and the Haas got pushed right up wide onto the exit curb. And then you're right, it looked like the Ferrari tried to just come across in front of the Haas. He maybe thought he was clear, and then he got speared off into the wall there. I don't think that anyone was predominantly to blame for that. I think it is just a racing incident, but it will most likely be looked at by the stewards after the race. We'll just have a look at it one more time. And see there, yeah, the Haas just trying to rejoin, and I think just got squeezed a little bit, and the Ferrari, yeah, just spearing across the nose of that car and into the barriers. Oh,
it's a bit of a hard one. You're concentrating so hard on the cars in front, you tend to forget the cars behind.
Absolutely, and I think as well, being in the Ferrari, and I've raced in Ferrari before, sometimes you don't see the red arrow because of the red colour of the car. So. Sometimes as well, the position of that arrow can be obscured by your heads-up displays or the graphics and stuff that you get from racing in T-Cam. So it's quite possible we simply didn't see that there was overlap with the Haas, and we've got a number of cars there damaged now. So very unfortunate there for Crush. He looked like he had a bit of pace, but unfortunately, yeah, it was interesting. We had a few comments in the Twitch chat about how boring the DRS training was looking like it was being, and then all of a sudden, just absolutely hectic scenes with the car getting speared off in a very busy pit lane with the resulting safety car.
It'll be interesting to see who can keep the tyres warm now, because mediums are quite hard, especially with safety car, to keep warm. So lap 1, generally, you'll see a few cars drop off and get out of that DRS zone.
Yeah, absolutely. So seeing we've got a couple of cars at the front on 6-lap old mediums, so they may be able to generate heat a little bit better than those brand new ones that have been put on by the guys behind. But our race is currently led by Simdogger in the Aston Martin. And of course, he was involved in that fight that resulted in the safety car, so he's profited greatly from this little safety car. CJM as well, starting on the mediums, so they'll be hoping to just extend this medium stint a little bit longer. The safety car will be helping with that tyre wear, so they may be able to get through to lap 21-22 before they have to pit for the softs. But it is interesting. This is one of the advantages of the alternate strategy. They can still go with their original strategy, maybe extend a little bit. Everyone else is being pushed onto their alternate strategy, so they will probably have to two-stop.
Well, the window is lap 8, lap 9, so...
Yeah, it's a little bit too early for those who started on the softs to make it to the end.
I think time will tell, I believe.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fascinating conclusion to the race once this strategy plays out. We should see the safety car come in at the end of this lap. The whole field is bunched up. We should hopefully get the signal at the end of Sector 2. Let's just see how everything's played out. There we go, safety car is in this lap. So Simdog and CJM up 12 and 10 positions respectively. Hero down 5 positions because he did have to double stack with his teammates. So you will notice that most people's teammates quite a way back through the field compared to where their teammate is. So that will have hurt a number of the drivers who didn't have track position. Hopefully they'll be able to fight their way back through the field. Here we go. Safety car is around the final corner. We'll be coming to the pits. Simdogger has control of the field as he comes through the final corner. Still weaving. And he's gone. And it looks like CJM has followed him through. Maintaining that gap of about 4/10. We do have, I think, Bieber and Big Al sticking very close behind Mikau. I think Hero's been able to get past Trim. Was that before the start-finish line? I'm not sure. But Bieber goes for a big dive on Mikau into turn 1. This is essentially for the effective lead of the race. And he's got the position. Big Al as well, all over the back of the AlphaTauri as Simdogger and CJM maintain their 1-2 positions on this safety car restart. Red Bull running.
There from CJM.
Yeah, he looked like he lost the rear a little bit on traction there. Next is Fever going to have a big dive into the hairpin. He sticks the nose in. It's not quite far enough alongside, but the Red Bull does give him space, but he decides to back out. Mikau as well, just lurking there in the background, ready to pounce if Fever makes a mistake. So coming to the double left-hander. And again, the Red Bull just doesn't look like those mediums are quite switched on as well as Simdoggers. Fever sizing him up to the left-hander, and he's got the move done. So he is up into P2.
Mikau got it as well.
Yeah, Mikau not quite. He's gone around the outside of the Red Bull, and he gets the move done. Mikau up into P3 again. CJM down to P4, and he's going to be under a lot of pressure here from Big Al, who will not want to get into the top 3 to get away from him. And we can see there, Big Al has got past him. He's trying to follow Mikau through, and he's got it done.
Oh, we got a light tap from Ekim on CJM.
Absolutely.
Hello, I'm here.
He's got slightly worn tyres, so his braking zone will be a little bit longer, especially if he hasn't got them into the right temperature window, which I suspect he has, given how quickly he's fallen back through the field. I'm going to jump back with Ekim now, who is sizing up CJM into turn 1. We've got Hero making a move on Baitmate as well. The Aston Martin almost having a look at Big out there as well. I'm not sure if there was contact, but he has got clear of CJM, and the Red Bulls have switched positions, so I don't know if that was orchestrated, but Geordie is through on CJM, and he has lost 5 positions in the space of 1 lap since the safety car restart. Now, the Aston Martin running a little bit deep there. Geordie trying to go around the outside as well, but there's just not enough space here through the twisty section. We've got someone dropping through the field. I think Hero's got past Baitmate again. And Baitmate dropping down to P9. T-Mac as well, making a move on Potsy, who's down to 14th position. And Apollo Pepsi combined. Here we go, side by side. The Haas and the Ferrari. We've seen one Ferrari get sent out of the race by a Haas. We're going to see this one as well. I don't think so. Apollo Pepsi has been able to get through cleanly on combined YouTuber. Jumping up, Fever has got past Simdogger as well at the end of that second DRS straight, so it seems to be a nice favourite overtaking position for the McLaren driver. Simdogger out of the lead, but still on for a good run with these 8-lap-old mediums he's been on since the start. Mikau, though, has got a very good run on the Aston Martin driver and will be wanting to get past him. He might just wait for the DRS zone, and I think he will. Go, getting a nice toe off the Aston Martin. Like even before the DRS zone, he has got the position done as DRS is enabled after this safety car period. Potsy dropping more position. I think he's into the pits. I wonder if he picked up some wing damage. You saw him change position. Oh, Fever spun! Mikau's hit him twice. I think there's a bit of desync involved there or something because Fever ghosted. Oh, no. But he's spun. He's dropped down to 6th position. And he's side by side with the Red Bull of Geordie now. And that was a bizarre incident. I think there must be some desync to explain that, as Hero and CGM battling it out for P7 as well. And it looks like Batemate trying to go around the outside of the Red Bull as well. He didn't expect that, and the Red Bull nearly forcing Batemate across the track, but he's got the move done, and CGM drops down to 9th position. Jumping back up as Fever gets past Simdogger again. Apparently Simdogger hit Mikau into Fever, so we were on board with Mikau at the time, so we couldn't actually see what was going on behind the Alpha Tauri. And we did call it. Yeah, it's not like Mikau to make a mistake like that, so there has to have been something else involved. But I think Fever there saved by a bit of ghosting that I think happened due to a bit of desync as well. Pondon's been able to get past Anacat there for 17th position. Potsy there, I think, yeah, he's got some wing damage we noted earlier. He's 26 seconds off the back of the field, and that's going to be a tall order for him to get back into that DRS train without another safety car. Jump up to Trin in the Haas, who's close behind CGM as well, who's really falling through the field since the safety car restart. I don't think he's got the tyres into the window. You see Apollo Pepsi. Apollo Pepsi straight off for the final corner. I don't know if he was helped, but he just went straight on and is dropped well down the order. He's got no wing damage. I'm not sure if he was assisted off the track or if he just completely screwed up his braking point.
He must have jumped the last corner apex and pushed him out wide.
Quite possibly. That was quite bizarre. Now we've got Pondon making a move on Anacat now into turn 4. Williams going down the inside of the Mercedes. Like he's got the move done. The Mercedes still trying to hang around, but decides to back out the last minute. So a wise decision there from Anacat. And easy under a bit of pressure here from T-Mac there. And P11 is right on the back of Trin's Haas for the final points paying position. You see Batemate a bit further down the field, closing in the back of Simdogger. The Aston Martin. So after that contact at turn 1, looks like Big Al has inherited the lead from Mikau, Ekem, Geordie, and then Fever. Fever hasn't lost out too much. He's lost a bit of track position, but he's still within DRS of those podium positions. See their T-Mac getting very squirrely on the entry curb there at the final corner. I'm not sure if he's still experiencing some frame rate issues like he was in qualifying. Alpine not looking too car shot at the moment, down in P12.
Hey mate, looks like he's right on the back of Simdogger at the moment.
Yeah, just on board with the Alpha Tauri now as we see Anacat and Pondon changing places down at turn 1. Fever as well, closing in on the back of Geordie. You're going to make a move into the hairpin. The Red Bull doesn't cover the inside. To the McLaren goes for a big dive, nearly hits the back of Ekem. The Aston Martin, a little bit of tyre-to-tyre contact there between the McLaren and the Red Bull. Fever's able to get the position. Geordie decides to back out. Focus more on the long game. Apparently Mikau's got a little bit of a connection issue, keeps jumping around for some of the other drivers. Mikau has taken the position back from Big Al and is in the lead of the race again. Hero as well, all over the back of Geordie's Red Bull. So some gaps are starting to open up between some of the drivers. No one's outside DRS range, at least not in the top 10, but we do have some deltas like Simdogger only just hanging on to DRS at the back of Hero at the moment. He's 9/10 and climbing. And he's got Batemate right behind him as well, so he'll be very vulnerable if he drops out of that DRS range. As we see Bieber making a move on Ekem into turn 1, and he's got the move done. The Aston Martin trying to do a little bit of switchback, but McLaren driver very good at positioning his car defensively. And he's got some DRS. He's giving a little bit of a wave to Ekem behind with his DRS flap. As we see a little bit further back, we've got Simdogger and Batemate going side by side through turn 4. Aston Martin on the inside. We've got a yellow flag as well. Looks like one of the Alfa Romeos has gone off, possibly Sandeezy. Had a bit of a spin. And they're still side by side, Simdogger and Bate. Oh, give us a better angle in this, Codemasters, please. And the Aston Martin down the inside of the hairpin. The Alpha Tauri around the outside. Still side by side. They come out to the double left-hander. Which one of them's going to yield? We can see that Simdogger's flashing ERS. He does not have much battery power left. Batemate pushing him around the corner, but Simdogger does have track position now.
Eight's now got the ERS though.
Yes, Simdogger doesn't have DRS at all. He's dropped too far behind Hero. We commented on that at the start of the lap, and that's left him vulnerable to Bait, who's able to breeze on past. So I think Simdogger there burning a lot of his ERS because he had lost that DRS, and unfortunately he was left very vulnerable. If he can stay with Batemate now, it should protect him from CJM, who's looks like his tyres have finally switched on now, but unfortunately Simdogger losing the position there. Coming back up to the front, looks like Fever closing in on the back of Big Al now in P2. Mikal currently leads, just 3/10 the gap. I don't think Big Al's going to be able to make it. None of them are using their DRS. Big Al's not opened his DRS. He's got McLaren of Fever going around the outside now using his DRS. And he's got the position done, so a bit of a strategic play there from Big Al, not opting to use DRS. And basically just let Fever through. I wonder if he's hoping that Fever and Mikal are just going to battle it out, and he might be able to gain some positions. We see the Red Bull of Geordie there making the move on the Aston Martin of Eckham through turn 4, and he's got that done quite comfortably as well. A bit further back through the field, we've got a little bit of a battle between Sandesi and combined YouTube with the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Sandesi up into 14th position behind his teammate, but about 3 seconds off the back of the field, so no DRS for him to defend. You might see the Ferrari come back at him at the second DRS straight.
Yeah, I think Big Al's sitting back and letting Fever do all the aggressive driving while Big Al waits patiently towards the end of the race where he's got a much better conditioned tyre.
Absolutely, and we've seen him do that before as well in previous races where he's just bided his time and let the drivers in front just battle it out and kill their tyres, lose a bit of time, and he's just come through for the last few laps and has been able to take it nice and cleanly.
Might also be doing it from a fuel saving perspective too, where if you sit in the DRS, you just could save a bit more fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. They could be underfueling their cars off the start of the race, so anything to try and get that to last a little bit longer, they'll take, as we see Hero's been able to get past Eckham now up into P5. So we've still got a DRS train down to about P13. Now, Batemate just outside of DRS range of Eckham. Remember, he did get past Simdogger, who dropped out by quite a bit, but he's now managed to close that gap up. We do have a DRS train all the way down to 13th position. Sandesi a couple of seconds behind T-Mac. We've got CJM picking up the first 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits, who's currently in P9. Unfortunately for him, that will take him quite a way back, outside the points, in fact, with that penalty. So, fortunate for him, you do have to keep it nice and consistent here when the field is so close. Beaver getting very close to Mick out, deciding not to make the move just yet. I see this for most of the race, I believe. It's a little bit of leapfrogging now and then, but managing the tyres, managing the fuel as well, as you said a little bit earlier, Spicer.
I've had a look at the grid. So far, it looks like no one's on fuel-saving mode, so...
We've got Potsy setting the fastest lap there. I think it was a 129.419. Memory serves.
All the top 5 are within 1 of a second of each other. Nose to tail. We've still got to see Simdogger and CJM to pit.
That's right, they've been on those medium tyres for 15 laps. They're still sticking in the DRS zone for now.
We see them pit around lap 21. Or next safety car, which I think they're praying for right now.
Captain of Gold as well has to pit again. He did start on the medium tyres and pit under that first safety car onto a second set, so have to come back. We've got a little battle for the first position now. Mikau and Fever side by side through turn 4. Fever holding on to the lead, and now he's under pressure from Big Al as well as Mikau. But no, Big Al's just a very patient driver. He will wait for that opportune moment. Go, Mikau sizing him up, decides not to go this time. Got a yellow flag. Apollo Pepsi looks like he's had a bit of a spin out of the double left-hander. Just cooked his tyres. Doesn't look like he's picked up any damage.
No, it looks like his car's okay. Definitely hot rear tyres. Condon and Endocat dropping back a bit.
You see Combined YouTuber making a move on Sambeezy as Mikau takes the lead back from Feber. Side by side of the run down to turn 4. Looks like Feber's not got any DRS. Big Al having a think about going for it. Holds back just a little bit.
One of those tracks, it's really hard to get away from the person following behind, because there's just that many DRS zones, and looks like it's going to be like this for the next 10 laps or so.
Now we do most likely have another safety car, another pit stop coming up. As you see Big Al having a little bit of a look at Fever there, banging tyres, but didn't go for the move.
I reckon Big Al's trying to position himself to get 2 with 1.
Absolutely.
Overtake.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he might also just be saving those tyres a little bit, trying to just make the one-stop work, whereas I think some of these others may have to pit for softs towards the back end of the race.
Everyone's just under 50 ERS, so everyone's obviously looking after it. Everyone further back's around 20%. So top 5 are just under 50.
Absolutely. As you see Big Al making a move on Fever, but he's just playing with him. I think he turned off the DRS and ended up backing out of the move. Ponton peels off into the pits. I don't know if that was for wing damage or part of his strategy.
Hi Butcher66. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, we've got a bit of contact between Bankmate and Ekem going through the hairpin. Alpha outside. And Ekem decided to back out.
Close.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure if that was desync or if Bankmate just trying to strong arm Ekem's position, but
We've got Simdogger and CJM to pit, so that might free up the field behind Trin. Might see these guys come through or catch up to the front pack.
Ekem there getting well off the racing line there. I'm not sure if they intentionally let Simdogger through or if he had a big moment. This CJM right behind the Aston Martin there.
I reckon Ekem may have floor damage, because last time I saw him, he was jumping over ripple strips.
Well, he's just coming into this pits now. He's going to jump up because there's a three-way battle now for the lead. Fever, Mikau, and Big Al. The Fever's through, and it looks like Geordie's trying to get a piece of this action as well. Here we go. FIBA going very defensive at the front.
Oh, Big Al. Big Al nearly getting his nose in.
Absolutely. It's starting to get a
Oh,
bit
Hero
punchy
right
now.
behind.
Here we go. Hero around the outside of Geordie has to yield. And he lost out a little bit there. Bateman as well, just behind him. Apparently Ponton has some side pod damage down in P17.
Beaver on 60 ERS has significantly got more ERS than everyone else.
Yeah, definitely controlling the pace of this race at the moment. We can see as well Simdog has dropped off 1.6 seconds behind Batemate. So we are starting to see a couple of different trains form.
I reckon Hero and Geordie are the ones to watch in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. They've been quietly kind of sitting towards the back of this league train. I think it's only a matter of time before they start to use up their tyres. There's only 9 laps to go now, so if they are going to be changing onto the softs, it'll happen in the next couple of laps, so you may as well use up the mediums while you've got them. Jumping a little further
Simdogger
back,
and
yeah.
CDM pitting for their last set of tyres for the race.
Trin up to P7 there.
We should see Trin close the gap between him and Bate. Looks like Bate's trying to get in on the action for the top 6.
Yeah, we're seeing him hanging there a little bit. Geordie there sizing up Hero just a bit as Pondon sets the fastest lap of the race with 128.881 on the soft tyre. The sideboard damage can't be slowing him up too much.
Bate is right on the McLaren and Red Bull. Big Al might want to get a little bit closer to Mika if he's wanting to stay in the top 2. Starting to drop off there and outside the 1 second mark.
We go, Mikau and FIBA side by side into turn 1. Mikau getting the lead of the race back.
Only 7 laps left to go.
But Tanis in the pits as well, is dropping back through the field. Captain of Gold says the fastest lap of the race is 128.425. FIBA looking around the outside of Mikau at the hairpin. I think he's going to get the move done there. Switches the other side, the double left-hander, but very, very difficult place to pass. Here we go. I think they're starting to get a bit more punchy now. We'll start fighting pretty hard for these positions as we enter the dying laps of this race.
I think
Tenese and Combined still battling it out there for P9.
I think we're going to see it all out at... Ooh, who was that? Hero running
a little bit wide there. So a fair bit of dirty air at the moment in this train, but he is up to P4.
When you get to laps 16, 17, that's when it really starts to get a bit sketchy. But I think in the last 3 laps we're going to start seeing an all-out fight. With the top 6.
And here we go again. FIBA around the outside with the assistance of DRS, able to get the job done on Mikau. Mikau should get DRS back. And he does. In the subtraction of the McLaren. On the run into turn 4. Big Al going around the outside as well, having a think about it. But the McLaren positioned itself nicely on the inside, but runs a little bit deep. Is Mikau going for the switch back? No, decides to slot back in behind the AlphaTauri. Oh, behind the McLaren, sorry, the other way around.
Very clean racing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the one DNF so far. Everyone else keeping it reasonably together. We've had a few spin on their own. Just the one safety car. No virtual safety cars either, so everyone being very consistent at the moment. 6 laps to go, though. Anything can happen.
Gaps closing between Bates and Trin.
Yeah, just 2.4 seconds.
We'll probably
Trin's,
see them around lap 27, right on the back of the
yeah,
top
Trin's
6.
got no pressure from behind as well. He's got 1.7 second gap behind to T-Mac, so he's just able to drive his own race, close in on these guys who are starting to battle. Here we go, Mikal ducks to the inside, Big Al following him, switches the DRS off a little bit early, and Mikal up into the lead of the race. Bieber will get the DRS on this next straight though. Gonna be able to get it straight back.
The top 2 are saving their ERS, while the 3rd to 6th are using it quite intensively.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just trying to stick with this train. They don't want to drop off it, because otherwise they'll have no chance of getting a podium. Mikal doing very well to hold onto the position there as well. Defended very similarly to Fever. It was Mikal gets so close to the back of the McLaren. Move it for the back. Polypepsi and Potsy battling it out for P17. Potsy getting in position as Pepsi yields. Got a yellow flag. Looks like we've got an Alfa Romeo. Captain of Golds has gone around at the hairpin. I'm just going to see that in a moment here. There we go. There's a yellow flag and the recovering Alfa Romeo. No safety car or virtual safety car. Just jump on board with the Alfa Romeos now under a bit of pressure from Potsy. He's within DRS range now. Any damage? No, it looks like the Alfa Romeo is okay. Jump back onto our leaders. Come around the DRS straight again on the pit straight.
Looks like Big Al make a move. Turn 1.
There we go. See the Alpine darting to the inside of the McLaren. They're almost 3 wide on the run into turn 1. Big Al goes for the move on Mikau, who's now losing 2 positions here in turn 1. Does have the inside line though. The Alpine trying around the outside. That's a terrible exit for. Oh, he's gone around. Mikau's gone around. The McLaren of Hero's gone off as well. It looked like they got terrible exits, and both Mikau and Big Al have had spins. See Big Al there, not happy at all. He's really struggling. He's dropped down to P10. Mikau there, P9 as well, combined up into P8. And there we go. Fever's now 1.5 seconds clear of Baitmate, who now sees himself in P2. Hero P3 there. And Trin getting past Geordie as well, up into P4. It looks like Geordie's actually got wing damage, as he picks up a 3-second penalty for running wide there at the double left-hander. So T-Mac sees himself move up into P5, and Geordie off the track. He's rejoined there behind T-Mac, but he has wing damage, so I wonder if we'll see him peel off into the pits. That was just unnecessary bit of contact there, I think, between Mikau and Big Al.
I think they were trying to push each other off the track, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, if we jump back to Simdog or he gets a move done on Big Al, I think Big Al might have a little bit of damage as well from that contact. It just seemed like Mikau definitely got a bad exit. Big Al was trying to capitalize on the move there from Mikau, as Geordie does come into the pits to get that new wing attached. And it was just like, what was we see? Sorry, Mikau getting a move on the combined YouTuber there on the run into turn 1. It looked like Mikau was caught out a little bit by Big Al opportunistically trying to get through with Fever. And Mikau having not a great exit, and I'm not sure if there was a bit of desync or they just got stuck together, but they both ended up spinning off in different directions on the straight. The run into turn 4. So Fever now 2 seconds clear of Baitmate with Hero close behind. We could be seeing McLaren 1-2. We've got a couple laps to go. There is time for him to do it. Apparently Fever's tyres are done. Ali reckons that he won't make it to the end. Big Al all the way down in 19th position now. Very disappointing for him from second down to 19th
bit
place.
unfortunate. But it looks like Baitmate might have a chance here.
Yeah, it looks like he's on for a podium. Trin fourth. He's moved up a few places after that contact between Mikal and Big Al, but still 4.2 seconds behind Hero, so I don't think he's going to be able to find a podium out of this. And yeah, shout out to Geordie Bunnings in the chat. Yeah, just unfortunate that he got caught up in that little incident there on the straight.
Three more laps to go. 3 full laps to go.
Absolutely, we see Hero there hunting down the AlphaTauri in his McLaren. So 2.5 laps to go.
We've got Mikal has managed to work his way back up to 7th, which is pretty good.
Yeah, Sendeezy's got a little train forming behind him. He's sitting there in P6. He's a couple of seconds off T-Mac at the moment, so it's under a bit of pressure here, the Alfa Romeo driver. I haven't seen if Mikal's got any damage after that incident. His front wing looks okay, but it's a pretty big contact. So Tanis gets a move done on Undercat. He's almost into the point. CJM holding on to the final points paying position, but does have a 3-second penalty. And Tanis 4 seconds behind him, so it's going to be very close. As you see Undercat. Oh, Undercat has spun Eckham. Contact there at the fast right-hander. Aston Martin there just sitting off in the Hamilton gravel pit. And able to get the car going. Oh, but he spun again immediately. And into the other gravel pit. That's unfortunate for Eckham there. So we see Hero Baitmate changing places. But Baitmate still holding on to P2. Great defense there from the AlphaTauri driver. Oh, he's got a lap and a half to go, and Hero nearly loses the car. The rear incredibly unstable there. These are incredibly worn tyres. And oh, Hero, he saves it again, but his tyres are cooked. Or does he have a puncture? He's got a puncture. Hero has a puncture. His rear right has gone. Now, what does this mean for FIBA?
This must mean a lot of people are under the same situation.
Well, there's a lap and a half to go, and we are starting to see tyre failures. These tyres are 21 laps old. What's happening in this race? We have the top 6 all on 21 lap old tyres, and we have 1.5 laps to go. What is going to happen here? Trin gets the position on Hero. He's up onto the podium. Baitmate's in P2. Now, FIBA also in the McLaren. I guess he's probably going to be running a similar setup to Hero, so his tyres are going to be in a very similar condition as well. He'll be very, very worried about what his tyres are going to do over the next lap, and his pace has dropped off considerably. It's just a 2.7 gap now between FIBA and Baitmate, as Hero is out of the points. Gets swallowed up by a Tanis now. Whoa, this is getting spicy.
So the last lap's all about tyre management.
Have a look at this as well.
Not about speed.
Simdogger is P5 at the moment on soft tyres that are 6 laps old. He is in a prime position to pick up a tier 1 podium here if he can just keep it nice and consistent for this lap as these medium runners try and nurse their cars home.
T-Mac might be getting his spot taken by Simdogger if Simdogger is quick enough.
Absolutely. Here we go. We're just watching FIBA at the moment. He's still doing okay. Doesn't look like he's near a puncture just yet, but Baitmate there, 2.5 seconds behind. He's just waiting, biding his time.
Hero does tend to use his rear tyres a lot more. Like, he's a little bit more aggressive on the exit corners, so that's probably why we've seen a puncture there.
Absolutely. As we see CJM and Mikal battling it out. Mikal, Sendeezy is all getting involved in that. So CJM's got through on Mikal, but Sendeezy having to go off track to maintain his position. Baitmates close the gap to 2.2 seconds. This is very, very close. I think FIBA just being super careful as Simdogger and T-Mac battling it out in the second sector. Looks like Simdogger's got the position. He's going around the outside of the Alpine. They're side by side. The Aston Martin going up on the curve. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two, but it looks like Simdogger's got the pace and he's going to get the move done on T-Mac. Jumping back up to our leaders as FIBA comes around the final corner. A 2-second gap back to Batemate, but he gets the win done, and a mega drive from Batemate there to salvage a podium there for AlphaTauri, and Trin mega drive as well from him and Haas to pick up the final place, and a massive shout out to Simdogger on the alternate strategy, starting on the medium tyre, and he has pulled off a 4th place in Tier 1. Now, T-Max is 1/10 behind him there in P5. We've got Mikau combined, Tana Sandesi, CJM just holding on to the point for the final place with 2 penalties as well. We've got Andocat there coming across in 11th and Captain of Gold in 12th. Oh, so we've got a big crash. The Red Bull is out. Jordy's crashed out of the final corner. Big Cal comes across the line in 15th place. And we've got Potsy is going to come across in 17th. Jumps up to 15th on penalties. And we do have Ekem and Hero, the last 2 to come across the line. Hero there in 19th place. So very unfortunate for him after that puncture. Oh, is he going to get Ekem? Has Ekem not realised that Hero's coming? He's crashed. Oh, they've all just crashed across the line. Oh, dearie me.
What a race. That had everything.
That was great.
Tyre management.
It was, the middle was a little bit of a lull with the DRS train, but it absolutely came alive. That early safety car and the early pit stops from everyone really helped spice up the end of that race with the threat of tyre punctures. And unfortunately for Hero, just ruining his race there. But congratulations to Fever. Did exactly what he needed to do to manage the tyres through to the end. But a great drive there from Batemate as well. A really, really solid drive there from AlphaTauri. And well done to Trent as well, rounding out the podium places. A solid, quiet drive from him, but he kept it clean and really was able to benefit there at the end. Thank you very much for the follow there, Staffy, and to anyone else I've missed during the coverage. Very well done indeed. So, let's see, we've got the fastest lap. I think that was, there we go, Potsy down in 15th place, so no bonus point, but he keeps it away from the top teams. But yeah, absolutely mega drive there. Fever, Batemate, Trent, Sindogger, T-Mac, Macau, combined YouTuber, Tana Sandesi and CJM with Anacat, Captain of Gold, Apollo, Pepsi, Pondon, Potsy, Ekem, Hero, and Big Al rounding out our finishes with Geordie and Crush, unfortunately not completing the race. We're going to have a quick look through the incidents for anyone who requires that for any stewarding later on in the week. But thank you everyone so much for joining us. Thank you very much, Mr. Spicer, for your comms. Do go and do your Martin Brundle thing and run off to get ready for your race in 10 minutes. So thank you very much. Good luck.
Yep.
And
thank you, Gus. Very good job, and good job everyone in Tier 1. That did a very good job.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for your kind words, and we'll be sticking it around for Tier 2 in 10 minutes, so we will have Sandesi bring that to you with Captain of Gold in the commentary box, and they will be providing you with the Tier 2 stream straight after this one, so do stick around. So I've been Gus Rules, thank you so much for your accompaniment this evening, and we look forward to seeing you in the next stream. Catch you later.